All right, so what we're gonna do here, again, we're just gonna basically analyze the video, talk about our thought processes and so on. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit play on the video and we'll just kind of walk through this. If I got something I want to talk about, I'll hit pause. If Hardman has something he wants to talk about, he'll tell me to hit pause and so on. So let's get this going. Provided it'll actually play. Please work
I was
with me.
just thinking, is this just me
There we go.
being tech issues again?
Nope, it's just being an asshole.
Alright, yeah, good on YouTube.
Wait, did it pause again? The fuck? There we go. What? Why does it keep pausing? The fuck is going on?
Alright, hang on, try again now.
Hardman, what are you breaking?
I ain't doing shit.
For those of you guys that don't know, Hardman gets blamed for all technical issues, even if he's not anywhere near it. This shit is going on right now.
Alright, hang on, let me see if I can hit play.
Oh, there we go. Get
I
covered
can
right
hit
now,
play.
269, we got a fucking
We'll
platoon
just-
size element
Okay.
over the hill.
Fucking confused.
You control it. Heckman, get that fucking saw set up in the corner. Alright, so basically we just got word that we got a platoon size element coming over one of the hills out to our west-southwest.
Alpha, Mike.
Alpha,
set
send it.
up, I got no fucking eyes.
268
It's really not
far
ideal
hill,
given
right
the
side
range
of the
we're
slope.
talking about here either.
Get yourself rolled up to the front.
It's gonna be PB2 Deckard.
Where's your team?
Heckman, you got eyes on?
Negative.
Stand by.
Alright, both teams, we're gonna get ready to start pushing out here, so let's get that truck pulled up roughly in line with everybody else up here at the Hescos.
And that is rocket artillery, gentlemen.
That's fucking MLRS.
Roger, you want Alpha
I mean, if you
fucking
ever need
maintaining
a
position
key
or
to
getting up
start
to the
an
truck?
operation.
Yeah.
For the moment,
Actually, let me turn this down
start
just a
pushing
little
up with
bit
the
so we
truck,
can
but keep a good bit of distance with that fucking rocket artillery.
be sure to hear you over the video here. Roger, are we going to roll through that or are we going to cut directly southwest?
Yeah, we're gonna hold inside the fucking cop boundary at this stage.
Actually, pause it for me
just
real
get
quick.
up here to the Hescos.
Okay.
Oh, god damn it. Of course it'd be when the micro dagger pops up. Motherfucker.
I'm not gonna try and fuck with it either.
No,
It'll just get worse.
don't bother. So if you guys were paying attention right there, you would have seen he's telling me basically that we're going to be moving up to his position, which if you guys look on my micro dagger is right here. It's just basically off to the left of where I'm currently looking, but he's talking about the Hescos up where I'm looking is where we're going to be moving to. So I look over there and I immediately see, 10, 15 fucking guys running around there, which is a fucking concern, obviously, because we just had rocket artillery come in. I don't really want to move my team up on top of more dudes because if they walk that rocket artillery in another 50 meters, it's gonna fucking destroy us. So even though I just received a move order, I'm gonna look, where that move order is basically wanting me to go and try to make an informed decision on whether that's a good position to go to. And the reason I'm doing that is it's not just a matter of, blindly following that order, because Hardman may not have had the same view as I did. He may not know that there's, 20 dudes standing back behind him without him actually turning around and seeing it. So he may not have any clue that there's that many guys up there already behind that cover, which is why I'm going to relay this information to him. So go ahead and hit play again.
Yeah, and just real quick on that too, that was a communication fail from my side because there's a second set of Hescos out here that I didn't really communicate that clearly as to what I actually wanted you to do, but we cover that in the vid in a second. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit play again. On our northwest, and we're gonna try and dig in here as best we can. We are fraggoing all previous fraggos.
Just maintain position for right now. Roger, I'd request maintaining current position. It's pretty rat fucked up there along those Hescos. I see a lot of fucking people up there.
Roger, the left set of Hescos up here where I'm at is pretty empty, but if you got good eyes from there, stay there for now.
Shit. Negative, we're moving.
Alpha, you good?
Let's go, let's go. We gotta move.
Bravo, check in.
I'm fucked up.
So am I. Get down off this rooftop and try and use the cover of the fucking walls.
Roger, get that big behind some
We're gonna-
fucking solid cover.
We got hit a little bit from Alpha. We're gonna patch up and then get the hell out of here.
Alpha 3-1's got a bit of a fucking mass cast going on down there, if you could try and help them.
right, so hit pause for me again real quick. We'll try and do what.
Yep.
So right here we have that artillery go off, and obviously we were still up on the fucking rooftop, and I immediately made the call. All right, no, we're gonna move, and then we had a couple more rockets hit, and then we got injured. So I made the call to get off the rooftops, get down amongst the walls and shit, and then bandage up, and then we would get out of there. Reason being is you're gonna have much more cover being, even if you lay down on the rooftops, which is generally pretty decent cover, we're going to have better cover down in and amongst the buildings. It's not exactly expected for rounds to go back onto the same exact position. You know, it's kind of the whole lightning doesn't strike twice type thing. So I wanted to get the guys down off the rooftop, get them patched up, and get them out of there. And then call came in from Hardman that 3-1 had an MCI directly behind where I'm currently at, which is our kind of staging area where everybody gears up and shit. So what happened there? Did the call come across from 3-1 that they had an MCI, or did somebody else see it and call it, or what happened? And then did they call for aid from you, or did you just kind of say, hey, I got guys in the area?
Yeah, so 3-1 called up that they had a lot. I think the call was, we have a lot of fucking dudes down. And you know, I put 2 and 2 together. And I knew that you guys were still there, so I called them back, and I was like, you know, 3-3's got you. I got a team just there. I'll redirect them over. What I didn't know, because of the way tracking Platoon HQ works on Blue Force, I didn't realize the Platoon HQ was in that position as well, because 3-6 obviously gets the Blue Force marker, and he was up on the front line, and it ended up being 3-7 down here that kind of coordinated a lot of this, as we'll see in a sec. But yeah, I made the call back to them. They just called up. They had a lot of people down, and I knew you guys were there, and I knew that, you know, you'd help out if you knew that was the situation. So
right,
and you know, even though, you know, the whole, like you just said about the, you know, lightning doesn't tend to strike twice, you know, still want to get out from under that splash zone as quickly as possible, even if they're not going to hit it again. You know, something I used to say to people all the time is that the easiest thing for Havoc 4 to do is repeat a fire mission.
Yeah.
Like, if you've got spotters and a good effect on target, why the shit would you adjust? So, you know, in that situation, we want to just get those guys picked up and moving, because you can pretty quickly turn a mass cast of guys who are just, you know, barely knocked out into guys on the verge of death, with just another fucking click of the artillery computer from the MLRS truck.
Yeah, and that's actually something I should point out, where, you know, why I had my guys pause and patch up here is because we're still technically amicable. You know, yes, we're walking wounded, but it's going to take us a fraction of the time to be able to patch up and move at full speed compared to someone that has multiple wounds and is knocked out and is going to require like legitimate medical aid to be able to get moving again, which is why, you know, if you get hit and your legs are screwed up a little bit, yeah, fucking stop right there behind cover, patch it up, and get the fuck out of there. But if you've got someone that's knocked out, you're better off just picking them up and running them out of the fucking danger area, basically, because it's going to take more time to patch them up and then get them moving than it is to just pick them up and go.
Yeah, 100%. And it also just, like, there'd be a lot of times, and what I'm doing right now while I'm making this radio traffic is exactly the same thing. I'm patching my legs up. I, like, fuck the rest of me, we'll get there. I'm like, I just need to keep moving, because, like, a lack of mobility is going to be, like, and that's something that throughout this I think we do pretty good, is we just keep moving. But you got to keep that mobility up so that you can both keep yourself safe, and, you know, haul ass to pick up friendlies if they need you. So
yeah, which does come into play in a little bit. Let's go ahead and hit play again. What we can, we're walking wounded as well.
Roger.
All right, get yourselves patched up. Everybody fucking sound off when you're good to move. 3-1's got a bit of an MCI. We're going to try and help him out if we can.
Roger. Yeah, Roger.
Bravo, for the moment, just get that Vic somewhere safe and get you guys all fucking patched up.
Bravo,
So were you guys in
Push
contact up at those Hescos, or was it just the artillery at this point?
Hagman's ready to fucking
At this point,
rock
it was pretty much just the artillery. There was a few sporadic shots
3-3,
going out.
can you give me
but
kind of rolling
nothing
progress
big.
updates from 3-1? Right on.
Yeah, they are next compound behind you, just under where that giant fucking tower was.
They're ready to go.
Roger, southeast tower.
5, this is 3 on 3-1.
Where's 5?
All right, let's move over to 3-1. They're in the compound right next door by the big tower. Let's see what we can do. I didn't even see that hole in the wall right there. I just ran my guys the long way around because I did not see that hole in the wall. For right now.
6 to 7 on point 1.
Hey, get them loaded up into the VIX.
Alright,
Which Vic you putting me?
Alpha, you're gonna have to try.
All right, we got no
and
more
pick it up
wounded
back
here.
up
Let's
to
go ahead
us
and
here.
fucking
We're getting
get moving.
told
We're
to
gonna
get
head out to the
in and bounce
northwest,
up
out
the
towards the
push.
Hescos. Just shift to the left side of the road. Get down in this death late as best you
You
can.
need me and Mike to come back and help patch you guys up.
Negative. We can deal with the fucking pain. 3-1's wounded or getting loaded into the vehicles. They didn't have any left for us to load up, so we're heading to you. I just realized that I'm basically telling my guys to do exactly what you're telling me on the radio, even though I'm not paying attention to what you're telling me on the radio because I'm telling my guys to do something.
Yeah, when I was watching this the first time, I was like, wow, that was really
Alright,
coordinated.
you see where our
but
truck is right here to our
never
direct
mind.
12 on the side of the road. We're going to push
Tractor
left of
around.
them. We were just that good.
Roughly bearing 325 for 100%.
Heckman, the end of the Hescos are right up here to the extreme left. I want you setting the saw up right there.
Roger that, I'll fucking deliver the hate.
So as we move up here, take this fucking bunker with the first thing I'm going to do, actually just go ahead and hit pause for me real quick. So, wow, that's fucking bright. Sorry, guys. Hit play again. Jesus Christ, I'm going to blind myself with that. Okay, hit pause. There we go. Jesus. Alright, so as we're approaching these Hescos, me as a team leader, my number one concern is getting that saw set up in a position where it's going to be usable. Because that's my biggest weapon system. That's, you know, my highest casualty producing weapon system. That's my number one concern as my team leader. So that's my very first order, if you will, that I issue. You know, Hardman told us just get set up along these Hescos. First thing in my mind is where can I set that saw up where he can put in some work. So I tell Heckman to slide all the way down to the end of the Hesco, get his machine gun set up. My next concern is going to be the AT, because that's my next weapon system where, you know, if shit goes down, I got to have the AT in a position to go to work. So I tell the AT to get set up inside that bunker that's right alongside the road. It doesn't have amazing sight lines, but it's got pretty good protection. If something does come down that road and try and bust in there on our gun truck, that AT is going to be sitting right there waiting for him. So
yeah, and we're not gonna see it for a little bit in this video too, but there is a real fucking steep left turn just a little bit down this road here. So basically, anything the AT4 would have eyes on is basically snapshot distance.
Yeah, exactly. So that was kind of my thought process as we moved up into this position, which, you know, it may seem kind of silly to talk about, but we don't really teach that kind of stuff per se. We don't generally talk about those kind of decisions that are made in a split second and so on, why we do it or how we do it. So that's kind of my my steps that I go through when I'm team leading is, you know, first, where can I put my AR that's going to be effective? Second, where can I put my AT that's going to be effective? Third, you know, is going to be the Grenadier, dependent upon the current contact we're facing. If we're getting a lot of contact that's coming up over defilade, then I want to get that Grenadier into a position where he can engage onto the backside of the defilade with that thumper. And then lastly is myself. Where can I sit generally within very, very close proximity to my AR to be able to get him on target, you know, range shit for him, so on and so forth. So that's kind of the process I go through as a team leader. For you, Hardman, squad leading, is there a process you go through, or are you kind of like how I was running weapons? Granted, weapons is different than a rifle squad, but for me, it was always, we got to a position and I just told the guys, all right, go to work, because I knew they knew how to do their job, and I knew they were going to, you know, set up in positions. If I needed them to change something, then I would, but I never said, all right, Alpha, you set up over here, get your AR here, so on and so forth. All right, go to work. Is that kind of how you do it? Because I know that's how you obviously did it with us.
Yeah, it is more my style to be a little bit more hands off. I try to avoid giving too much micromanagement as far as possible. Like you said, just kind of trusting in the guys and their ability to kind of do their stuff. But also, you know, if I'm holding their hand every step of the way, then they're never going to be, you know, ready for the next step. So it's kind of about letting them kind of see as much of the picture as I'm seeing and letting them make their own choices. And, you know, if I have more information for whatever reason that I can, you know, step in and help out, then I'll do that. But, yeah, I tend to like just to sort of leave it alone unless there's something specific that I'm trying to accomplish as well, which happens a little bit here again later on I do start to get a little specific with a couple of directions. But the biggest thing for me at this point is just trying to figure out what the shit the other 3 squads are doing.
Right.
Because obviously none of this was planned. You know, well, it was planned, but it wasn't planned that the platoon was aware of. So,
Right.
so you know, trying to react to this MLRS, you know, everyone is just booking it, and it's like, you know, people are just stuffing themselves into defensive positions. So I knew that the 3-1 was kind of going to be coming down here with us, but obviously they're still dealing with their own casualties. They might be picked back up and they might be mobile again, but they've still got some shit to deal with. So that's kind of why initially we take up a pretty wide sector out here. But yeah, I'm just trying to work out who's covering where, what's the posture of everybody else, and then how can I kind of fit us into what they've already got going. Because 3-4 and 3-2 were up on this HESCO wall, like, I don't know, probably 5 minutes before we were. So they were already pretty established in the sense of their sectors and everything. So it was just about trying to figure out exactly where they were at and just making sure that we weren't overlapping those fields of fire too far, so that we weren't doubling up on, you know, I guess vaguely pointless security in a sense. There's no point having, you know, 3 squads watching the same MSR most of the time. So
yeah, and when we rolled up, like you said, you know, kind of where my cursor is circling now, you know, 3-4 and 3-2 were over there, 3-1's dealing with their shit, and when I got up here as Alpha, Bravo's already kind of right here in this central area, which is why I took that extreme left to cover our flank, and eventually you'll see 3-1 start moving up on our left flank, which is where they were designated to be, basically in the platoon line. But up until that point, I knew that we were the extreme left of the platoon, and that's going to become important here in a second. So let's go ahead and hit play again.
Decker's going in with Mason.
Bravo, we're setting up on your left. Sight lines are kind of dog shit, but we... Alpha, we got contact direct south, 300 meters.
Check
Go ahead and start fucking engaging. And that's where it... Say again, this is Alpha. We got a squad-size element cresting the hill, direct south.
Yep. This is the very start of Heckman doing
You're on target, Heckman. Shift, move left to right.
And also the start of our Mark 19.
Yeah.
We're gonna absolutely kill it.
Mason, I want the 2 of you out of that tower. Come over here and shore up this fucking left flank.
Roger that. Bravo's Mark 19 working on those targets.
Alright, so pause it there real quick if you would. So, you guys just heard me make the call for Deckard and Mason to come out of the tower and come over here and get online with me and Heckman. Now, the reason I made that call was I was pretty sure that that Donnie and McClure, I'm pretty sure was his AR, were going to shift over and get online with us. I was pretty sure I didn't have to call him and ask him, because that's just naturally what you're going to do in that situation. I knew the Mark obviously was engaging at that point. Everybody kind of shifted over to that left flank. But the reason I wanted the other 2 guys to shift over there is to, like I said, shore this up and get our skirmish line going over here. And I had the knowledge that 3-2 and 3-4 were still covering down the road. So it wasn't that big of a deal for me to pull my 2 guys off of that road and get over here on the left side when we had, you know, at least 2 squad-size elements coming up over this hill. I wanted those extra rifles in the fight rather than having those 2 guys just staring down a road that, you know, 10, 15 other dudes were already looking down. That's why I pulled those guys off and got them over here to this side. And in a second here, you'll actually see me kind of pop out and stop engaging and take a look at the skirmish line and just kind of see it, make sure everybody's set up properly, which is just kind of a pet peeve of mine, making sure that guys are actually, you know, firing online with each other and shit, nobody's back behind and stuff like that. Yeah, that's why I did that. That's why I pulled those 2 guys out of the tower. Let's keep watching. Maybe we can keep watching. Hardman will hit play.
Yep.
Possible.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear.
Up here, 3-1's gonna take west.
Bravo, my fucking saw has a better angle on the right. Shift your Mark 19 rounds left. There you go, on target.
Bravo copies.
I'm gonna shift back. Keep this fucking line that we got right here.
Roger, 3-3 out.
So now I'm checking our flank, and I end up spotting that guy. Get that saw mounted on the top of this HESCO. We got shooters coming over the hill, 250.
Which is our original hill.
Yeah,
if
Alpha,
I
we got
remember
another set of
rightly.
fucking shooters coming over the hill, 250, top of the hill. Let me turn the volume down on this just a little bit more. Be roughly 500 meters.
Mark 19.
Hackman, you got an angle on him?
Guns down, reloading.
So when Hackman makes a
Good
call
hits
that
on
his
those
gun's
mark
down,
rounds.
I immediately start engaging again. You'll notice I don't necessarily engage all that much as a team leader because I'm trying to coordinate the other guys engaging because they have more rifles than I do.
I got more infantry being called out bearing 300.
Which is really just an issue that's doubled down on my perspective as well.
Yeah.
Bravo copies.
So now your guys' fucking fire. 3-1's right next to us here. Now you guys see 3-1 kind of rolling into their position on the left flank.
Got a BTR bearing fucking 3-4 something. We got no eyes from our pods. 3-4 engaged.
3-4 is engaging a BTR out to the northwest. Just make sure we keep cover from that fucking area.
It's cooking. You can see the fire.
3-4 got it. It's cooking.
3-6 is calling a convoy coming in from the south. Humvees and a BTR.
Convoy coming in from the south, probably along that fucking road that we were just engaged in. Heckman, turn back around here and get cover into the south.
Copies.
Alpha copies. Can you relay to 3-3 to make sure they stay down in that fucking defilade? Because we're.
Oh,
gonna
I just
have to
realized I
fire
said
over top of their
3-3
heads.
instead of 3-1. Yeah, you do a number of times. I knew who you meant.
Over to the far left of the fucking formation.
All right, Roger. Hey, get that. Yeah, take that fucking spot right there. I just realized that me and you are basically doing the exact same thing. We're just sitting there checking on the line, making sure everybody's all right and shit.
Bravo copies. Mark 19 engaging.
Yeah, and then sometime pretty
Bravo,
soon, I
range
think
on that fucking
Sunsmith is
Humvee break.
acting 3-7 comes through and checks on us as well.
529 on the crest of that hill where that Humvee is.
Right.
Heckman, right of the Humvee, right of the Humvee.
On thermals coming over the hilltop, right of that
Eyes on.
Yeah.
Roger, tell 3-3 to stay the fuck down.
I just did it again.
Have done. Yep.
Infantry.
Why didn't you correct me, fuckbag?
It didn't matter. I had other nets to talk on.
Roger, we got a BTR rolling down the road. This is Alpha. We got a BTR rolling down that road with a Humvee rolling behind it as support.
Humvees are pushing down the road.
There's a BTR in front, 2
God,
Humvees
that Mark
behind.
19 put in so much work. Yeah,
Do not engage that BTR. Keep engaging the infantry. Let the Mark 19 take care of the BTR. 3-1 knows to keep their heads down. Just fire over top of them. See, I corrected myself that time.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
I love Mason outing you too.
That was the second time he did it.
Motherfucker,
Hit
he
pause.
outs me in the middle of the firefight.
Hit pause for me real quick. So when we were all kind of gearing up and shit, Mason had done his radio check, and I respond to him and he outs me, and I was like, "Motherfucker, did you just out me?" And just busting his balls, and then he did it to me this time, and that's why I was like, he even outs me in a fucking firefight. Because I could tell both Mason and Deckard were fairly nervous for, fairly obvious reasons. They've, got a first sergeant and a sergeant first class, running their team and shit. So I could tell they were kind of nervous, and that's oftentimes when I fill in and stuff, and you'll notice that like I'm joking around a lot or just kind of messing with guys and stuff. It's because I've noticed that they're a little fucking nervous and they kind of fumble fuck over their words a little bit or something. So I try to joke around with them a little bit just to kind of get them to open up a little bit and not be so fucking freaked out about what's going on and shit, and just be like, hey, I'm a human too. Like, it's okay. You're gonna fuck things up. It's fine. We're just here to have a good time. So I when he did that during the firefight, even though, yes, this is a situation, obviously, that we would take pretty damn seriously, you would be amazed the amount of jokes that are slung when you're in the middle of a gunfight, especially when you feel relatively safe. Again, anything in a combat situation is relative. So, yeah, it's not exactly unheard of to joke in a firefight. Yeah, we can go ahead and continue watching.
Alright.
BTR dismounted, BTR dismounted.
God, that
Out
fucking Mark.
standing hits with those Mark 19 rounds, Bravo.
Bravo copies.
Maintain this fucking sector. We got everybody else covering our other fucking flanks.
Copy. 3-3 Bravo.
Yes, Taco, you would make naughty remarks all night.
Beyond that, that's basically fucking
Warnick,
southwest.
stay
What are
the
chances
fuck
of those
down.
guys like pulling back a bit so we actually have better lines of fire?
Then again, if Taco was there, we'd never make it out of the tent.
Yeah, I'll see what I
Another
can do.
Humvee.
They don't have. They've got
They wouldn't have been a fucking tent less by the time they fucking got done with it.
Right. So here I'm going to give Heckman some ammo.
Basically, this
Give you a
mission
box.
is just give Heckman ammo simulator.
Yeah, pretty much. So here what I'm doing, Deckard didn't have a fucking box on him, or at least in his backpack for whatever reason. But my thought process there was that Heckman needed ammo. I just gave him my box. The other guys were already engaging, so I checked Deckard's pack real quick to see if he had a box in there, because I was just going to grab it out of his pack and put it into Heckman's pack, so he didn't have to stop engaging, turn, you know, throw the pack in there and shit like that. I was going to do it for him because he was already fucking engaging.
And I think at this point too, it's worthy of note that as far as we're concerned as a platoon, we are digging in at this position
Yeah.
for the next 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you know, so it's one of those things where you kind of, if we're going to be in this sustained gunfight for a little bit, then you know, whenever you got a second to do that quick little resupply top up, it's worth doing it just progressively rather than what happens here again a little bit later on, which is going shit
Yeah,
and
basically.
fucking running black.
Yeah, basically the theme of the entire night was like get Heckman more ammo, which I'm perfectly okay with. You know, it's one of those. Obviously, I know Heckman knows what he's doing, and he runs a saw very, very much so like I do, where it's like I have lots of ammunition. I'm going to use all of it. So I knew going into this we were going to be ripping through some ammo if we were to see shit. If we were to get into gunfights, I knew we would be going through a lot of belts. And I'm perfectly okay with that because Heckman, like I said, runs his saw very, very similar to how I do. So I already kind of had this planned out in terms of I'm going to be the one running fucking ammunition back and forth. And it actually turned out later on Donnie being the one running ammunition. Yeah, anyways, that's what I was doing is my guys were currently engaging. I wanted them to keep engaging, so I took the, I guess, initiative, if you will, to get more ammunition for Heckman.
Yeah, and I guess, well, so long as we're stopped here, because you're not hearing a lot from me at this point, because everyone's basically just dug in shooting at crap.
Yeah.
And so all the real content going over Platoon Net is just kind of basic contact reports. A lot of it is sort of out of sector. We're not really getting anything going on in terms of info from higher coming down. It's really just whatever you see, fucking kill it, and we'll keep working. And you guys were already doing it, and there was a lot that was going on kind of out of sector. So there was a fair bit here that I didn't pass down, but it didn't really seem particularly relevant. And I was pretty confident that on the team level there was a lot of comms going on, so I was kind of just leaving that alone to not sort of interrupt the standard kind of process that was going on.
Yeah, and when there was pertinent information like that BTR and, 3-4 engaging that BTR, that was obviously relayed because that is, important information. Or, if we would have had guys start engaging across the AO into our asses, we would have been given a heads up. Luckily, we didn't really have that situation. But that was a possibility with that BTR, which is why I'm assuming that you sent it up, because it was in a position to engage us.
Well, yeah, and I mean, any kind of false multiplier in general, because if that BTR gets in a position where it can start opening up on us, you're all going to hear it, and everyone's natural question is going to be, where the fuck is that? So, anything else aside, anything where you might hear something and be like, what is that? I try and have an answer for it. but you know, things like 3-2 has like a squad coming over a ridgeline. Well, one of our squads can drop one of their squads real easy. So it's like that's going to be dead by the time I'm finished passing down the contact report. So
Yeah, pretty much. All right, let's keep it going.
Aviation. No more
Get your
GTX
asses up
this
against
time.
this HESCO.
At
Get up
field.
against the HESCOs.
Enemy rotary up.
It's Alpha, we're
I got
stuffing ourselves
thermal.
against the HESCOs.
Roger, thermal movement bearing 3.
Heckman, try and work your way down to that fucking end and set up over top of fucking Bravo's saw. Down to that end.
3-4's gonna fucking hold Jav.
Hey, we got guys coming down the main road.
Heckman, I'm right above you. I'm on your high-low.
when I get that contact report of these guys coming down the road, I immediately call up to 3-2 and
Bravo's
make sure
fucking
that
solid
they've
stay
got an
down as
angle
well.
on it, because they could see around that bend that I was
Right.
talking about before, and they let me know that they're kind of on it and they're working on it. So
Yeah, I could
that's why I
see.
didn't adjust anything too much.
Yeah, that's where I'm
Bravo,
looking.
we got no
Why I'm
angle
looking
on that
there.
shit, so we're covering
Exactly
the south,
what I'm
you got our
saying.
west.
Because we don't have an
Solid
angle.
Copy. We had to adjust our Vic back. We're taking accurate fire from down that road.
Roger, if anything big pops up to the south, I'll let you know.
Bravo copies. Bravo out.
Yeah, 3-2 is fucking engaging down the road as well, you guys. Contact!
Roger, we got any word on that fucking rotary?
None of this time. Last I heard, 3-4 was told to hold Jav with aviation coming in on it, but no media yet.
He's covering out to the south.
Roger, head eyes on that motherfucker. He pokes his head, I'll fucking smoke him.
I dropped the one out there to fucking 336.
Fucking Mark
Nice
19,
fucking
man.
rounds with the marks, Bravo. Keep
Oh
that shit
yeah,
up.
it was on point all night, like up until it ran out of fucking
Alright,
ammo.
we ain't got to worry about our northwest
did
or
work.
our west. Bravo's
Yeah,
got that
Arch
shit
was
locked
just,
the fuck
he was
down.
on it the entire fucking night. And there's some points later on that you guys will hear me calling
cover the left,
Donnie
they'll take
to
care of the
adjust their
rest.
rounds, and within seconds of me giving them the adjustment, they were putting rounds on target. It was really fucking impressive.
Alright, if either of you got ammo for Heckman, go ahead and give it to him now.
Roger.
And basically, at this point, like, we kind of have a lull in our sector. Like, I just keep scanning the fucking ridgeline to look for
Heckman, real
anything
quick, give me your
skylining.
fucking round count.
So,
Stand
you know,
by.
we've got a bit of a lull here where it's just intermittent foot mobiles kind of peeking over the hill every now and then.
Oh shit!
And then that fucking
Drop that-
machine gun.
We got a fucking machine gunner up there left. There you go, Heckman. You're on
Yeah,
target.
and it's like I was at this point down to your like east, I am pretty sure, and I see those
Mark
big
19
traces come in,
Mhm.
and like basically all of platoon net just immediately
Roger,
lights
Bravo.
up.
That's a PK. He's up on
we've
top of
got
that fucking rock.
Intel
Shift your
coming in
rounds
either
left
from
20
Romeo
meters.
or from
On
Dagger
target.
about kind of what's up there. I got 3-7 feeding me fucking fire
Right
adjustments.
of that fucking
Um,
rock.
Bravo,
everyone
shift your
else's
fire
segment
back to the
kind of
right.
died out at this point, which is why you're not hearing much else
Alright,
going
you're on it. I'm just gonna stop telling you shit.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm not even telling them what to do.
Yeah, that engagement
Right on.
was
Let him know Heckman said he'd give him
just-
a blowjob later.
it was just gorgeous because that's obviously we didn't flank, but we did fix that position with enough time for the mark to be able to turn and start engaging that.
Forrest got a fire mission going out. Don't know what the
Yep.
actual target is
And
yet.
it's also one of those things where, you know, you'll constantly hear it coming up in debriefs whenever we take the gun trucks out about the Mark 19s are just mini IDF.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking
Heckman, go
Christ,
ahead and
I
A
got-
couple of spotting
pull back
rounds,
about 5
adjust,
meters.
fire for effect.
Can I run back and fucking rearm real quick?
No, I'll grab some ammo for you out of the truck. Just hang here.
And here comes your
Yeah.
fated run to the truck.
Yeah. I was so disappointed there was
Bravo,
so
I'm
little
gonna
fucking
grab some
ammo in there.
fucking belts out of the truck for my gunner.
Bravo copies.
We probably should swap them out for 200 round belts, but anyway. It's a conversation for another day.
Indeed, Caldwell, the Hardman. Yeah, that's, see, because I'm looking right there, like I was looking to see if there was 200 round packs in there as well, And then I was like, I don't want to steal all the ammo. And then they fucking start moving the truck on me so I can't get out.
Please stop the fucking vehicle so I can get out.
Stay right here, boys.
The last thing I want to do right
Where
here
the hell
in
are
a
you going?
situation where we have rockets coming in is sitting in a 5-ton, 15-foot tall fucking bullet magnet.
Come on, Warlord, smoke
Just
that motherfucker.
keep yourselves pressed
I mean,
up
to be
against those
fair,
fucking
they took
Heskos
no
and stuck in
damage
the
out of that.
goddamn
So,
truck.
Yeah.
until they
again,
figure out what
full
they're
credit
doing.
to Bravo for their
Yeah,
vehicle.
Warlord's engaging.
I mean, we've done
send it.
vehicle stuff for the last couple of trainings in a row, but they did really good job in terms of
stand by.
engagement and movement with the truck.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I want to sit in it any longer
That's
than I
gonna
have
be a
to.
negative from Alpha. It's up
That's
over the
pretty
fucking
fair, too.
hilltop behind Deflade.
Bravo copies, we're gonna start lobbing rounds.
And now I get to
Alright,
give
Heckman, I could only
Heckman
get
some
200
ammo.
rounds.
That's fucking beautiful. I'll fucking slow it down.
Tree Bravo.
Go ahead.
And I believe this is where it slows down and we get ready to head out,
Yeah,
right?
I'm just about to call that
Yeah, I
up.
got you.
That was
Kind of
pretty
at
good.
this point, we still think we're digging in.
We're good.
So
Right.
Use a little
we're
fucking
still
ammo.
kind of fortifying our position at this point. But yeah, we have a bit of a
Wanna go steal
natural
some
sort of
fucking
lull
saw
here.
ammo?
But this is also where 3-2 loses their gun truck just to our rear.
Yeah, I don't want to really push up
At
to
the
their
start of
part.
this, where that rat
Just
fuck's
keep it
position
more or less
was,
where
that was
it's at.
basically
You're gonna have that
3-2's
one
hill
corner
along
that
with
corner.
sort of platoon HQ and everything. And they lose their mark at this point, and then they go down to motor pool and grab Crows, I think, in the end.
Fucking movement, hilltop, 335. Never mind, it's down.
Deckard CLS.
Alright, guys, I'm gonna fucking put you an actual trench up here. We're using more than just the Deflade.
Hey, Ghost and Quack.
All Alpha stations, do you guys need CLS over?
3-2's gonna pick up a new truck out of motor pool, so
This is
just keep doing what you're doing for the moment, Bravo. And then once they get their new Vic up here, pull back where you
You
have
wounded?
I am not wounded.
I know Mason just made those call-outs, but I think now is a pretty good time also just to touch on real quick that we've managed to survive all that engagement. I don't think anyone took a single round.
No.
Bravo,
Nobody
I
went
think
down,
any
nothing.
of 200 rounds in the
catching
truck.
up at any point during this, which was being fucking, it was an advantage for sure.
Yeah, we were ready to go pretty much the entire time. We didn't
Alright,
really need
go
to
ahead and take this
lull.
hot second to fucking repack mags, make sure everything's good. I came from the
And
top of
the-
that fucking hill.
RPG gunner.
Right? Or was that from the fucking west?
Or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yes, Alpha. It was just south of 3-1's pause. I think it came from the west southwest. Not sure though.
Yeah, I was thinking it came from that hilltop up there, but I didn't see a puff of smoke from anywhere, so I couldn't really identify it.
Yeah, Roger. I'm
Yep.
guessing it was somewhere roughly 250.
I'll see if I can pick anything up on
And
them.
the thing is that as that round was flying through, I was staring that way through my thermals and didn't see shit. So I was really pretty in the dark in terms of where the hell that came from. And we'll hear it here in a little bit, but everyone was.
Yeah.
We end up with basically the entire platoon, like jabs and all, doing thermal
Whole
scans.
platoon's
Yeah,
doing
here's
thermal scans
the
right
radio
now.
call.
So far, no hit.
And no one can find a damn thing.
Alpha copies.
Bravo copies.
And again,
Understand
if you'll
original
pause it for me
where the
real
fuck
quick.
Just fired that missile.
So, what you guys are seeing, like right here, like where my cursor is kind of circling, this is like all of 3-1 right now, kind of set up down in this little draw. And, you know, traditionally we do not fire over top of friendlies. That's a big fucking no-no. The only reason that my guys are still set up covering this sector is, one, we don't really have another sector to grab at this point, but two, it's been established, you know, from the start of the firefight, basically in this position, these guys all know that 3-3 is back here firing over top of their heads. So they all know to stay down low, do not get into our line of fire, basically. So they're not going to be pushing up that hill or anything like that. They know that we're covering the top of that hilltop along with them. So that's basically the only reason I'm still okay with my guys covering out this direction, is because all of 3-1 knows we're right behind you covering over top of your head. So,
Yeah.
you know, generally a big no-no, but, you know, we have it kind of pre-established, like, hey, just keep your fucking heads down. Yeah, we can keep going from there.
Yeah, and just real quick on the topic there of 3-1-2, I've watched this from Captain's perspective because he was filling in with 3-1, and they've actually got a pretty decent sized little bowl in there. They're all kind of set up in and around these rocks.
Mhm.
So I understand why they were holding that position for kind of as long as they were. I mean, they've got, I think, 3 trucks they've managed to pull down in there as well and keep all of them out of the line of fire. So they definitely got a good spot terrain-wise to play with.
Mm-hmm. Or whatever, but they're not seeing shit yet.
3-3 Bravo.
Yep.
Do we know what 3-2 are engaging out to the north?
Single shooter.
Very close single shooter.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And Murph, thank you for the 16-month resub.
We got any idea how 3-1's eyes are out there to the fucking west-southwest, kind of that hill we were gonna go to?
Yeah, I checked in with them a second ago and they said they got pretty good eyes. I requested with having 3 for us to push out to that hilltop to get better fucking eyes out, and they said no at the time, but we're about to get movement orders from 3-6 to stand by.
Alright, 3-1
3-6
said they
one
got
nation report.
good eyes out to the fucking west-southwest, so don't worry about our right too much. Alpha's green on all, but we could use a little bit of saw.
I actually heard you asking for an ace report over me
Bravo
talking.
is green on all.
I'm pretty sure I didn't hear you give the ace report.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Bravo,
But everything that's about to happen, the ace report got quickly
3-4's
forgotten.
calling for Mark 19 over there.
Interrogative, north-northeast.
I also realized here that I say no to Donnie about it being
No,
north-northeast, but it was 1,000%
bearing
north-northeast. I was just being fucking dense for some
Kinda like
reason.
the one-
Yep.
It happens.
Alright, Mason and Deckard, I want the 2 of you to kind of cover out to our north-northwest, kind of where you're currently covering, just so we don't get shot in the ass at this fucking trench. Like,
Roger,
over there,
northwest.
Deckard.
I'm gonna put in a fresh belt.
Roger that, Sergeant.
Alright,
Get your stuff
Stand by,
self
Sergeant.
stuffed up in that corner.
And the reason I told Heckman to stuff himself up in that corner is because I want him as protected as possible.
We're gonna be fucking mounting up.
Not because he's Heckman,
And
because
we're
he's my
gonna
saw
be
gunner.
MSR from
And
here.
Also
Yeah.
because he's
Way
Heckman.
I mean,
too far
As far as fire teams go, like
We'll
Saw's
be mounting up in
really,
the
like you
truck,
said before,
taking
like
the
biggest
road
casualty
up to
producer. So
Park Nashville.
We are gonna be the last Vic in the
He will
fucking.
be the
column.
last Vic.
And we just got the order
Alpha
that we're actually
solid
going to
copy, you wanna
go
slow
push
it
and
down?
assault the FARP.
Stand by. Trying to fucking get everyone else
Okay,
moving.
disregard. Maintain security. I'll let you know when we're
Bravo
gonna roll.
copies and all.
let me know once you guys are all pulled out of your position.
Alpha copies.
Pull our Vic in behind you, obviously, as we roll out. And now this is a situation where we're trying to transition the platoon from being kind of strung out and dug in to getting us all in a cohesive format along one kind of, at this, I think, MSR pushing north, but what will eventually be the ASR pushing west.
Yeah, that's kind of the pain in the ass about this situation is
Oh,
we've
it's
got
gonna
the
be a
entire
fun
platoon
fucking
spread out
drive.
across the line, and now we've got to get everybody, condensed back into a fucking convoy.
3-4's fucking repairing a wheel on their Vic, and then they'll be ready to move.
3-4's
So then
repairing a
3
wheel
will
on
be
their
full
And
behind
platoon
them.
one of
and
us
then we'll get going.
in the back, kind of in
Alpha
line with
copies.
what our original,
Bravo
no,
copies.
our second to original convoy
Bravo,
layout
how
was
much
going to
dope do
be.
you got left
So
for the Mark 19?
So the Frago, not the Frago of the Frago of the Frago.
yeah,
I
that's the
believe
one.
it's
One of
boxes.
those.
I was like 4 sending on another mission.
Alpha Bravo.
Send it.
7 full, 1 partial.
Roger, Dodger.
So I was asking him there how much ammunition we still had for the
Still
Mark
got 7.5
19,
fucking boxes left in the
just
Mark,
for
so
my own
there'll
personal
be some ammo
edification.
still left.
Granted, that wasn't exactly correct because it was also counting the fucking canister rounds.
Yeah, which is kind of just dodgy the way ArmA represents that.
Yeah. But
Fucking
it's
Humpy
okay,
still
'cause
awake over
we
there?
were still, we're still able to put out a lot of fucking hate with that Mark
Alright, change
19.
plan.
Wide awake.
We're now moving along the ASR that
Better be
we're
fucking
along
surprised.
here. We're going to be pushing out to the west. Bravo, just make sure the truck is out of the way of that road so that everyone else can get their trucks through. Everyone go ahead
Alright,
and
we're
mount
going to
up.
be pushing directly along the road that we're on. Go ahead
Bravo
and break down your
comes, there's
security.
traffic as well
We're
out
going
of
to
the
mount up.
Good copy.
Roger.
Follow me back here so we're not running in front of this fucking truck.
And then we end up
Alpha
running in
copies.
front of a different
We'll,
truck
be way
anyways.
up here in just a second.
Yeah. But it's also hard to, because
Cross
you
what we
got
can.
platoon HQ and company HQ trying to move trucks around as well, so...
Yeah.
3-3 Bravo interrogative.
Is that it?
We are still
Enough
going to be
when
the
you're
last
loaded.
Vic in this convoy.
Bravo, say again.
3-3
We are still going to be the last Vic in this convoy.
Heckman's in.
That's safer.
Start a copy, Bravo.
Seconds in.
At least for the next 12 seconds.
Start a copy. We've got
Mason's in.
IDF direct south, fucking 200 meters.
Yeah, this is where I start getting a little nervous.
Stay
Like,
inside.
come on, let's get moving.
I don't fucking turn out.
Bravo, this is
Yep.
3-3.
Send for Bravo.
Is that what that means?
Be advised, we are not rolling this
Sometimes.
as a convoy. We are just going to fucking use the Vic in and around terrain as best we can. So don't feel restricted to the road.
Bravo copies. We are still using convoy net, correct?
Fucking driver's trying to leave his team leader
don't
and
believe so.
AR behind.
Set it up
so-
anyway, just in case. But no, they're specifically calling it not a convoy.
Bravo copies.
3-3 for your own edification. Alpha is all loaded.
Thanks, Alpha.
And I'm still going, okay, let's get moving. Come on.
Bravo's all in.
We had mortars
If
dropped.
you guys need any supplies or anything out of
Everyone
the
else
truck,
is
now's the
on,
time
so
to
let's
grab
go.
it.
Let's follow behind.
Okay, let's go. We're falling in.
Because
Roger
that
that.
Vic that's just there on our
Yeah,
left,
for whoever
I
this is,
had
right here,
assumed
but not much we can do about
was
them.
crewed and would be rolling out in front of us with
Yeah.
the call that we were in the back.
3-3, you tracking those rounds
Turns
dropping
out I
behind
was
us?
We are going to set up 5-0, but apparently it's not really going to be used.
I have no idea who this was running alongside of us, but I know I felt bad for him. Looks like platoon HQ.
Yeah, pretty sure it was.
break.
3-7
I'm
and 3
not sure
Mike.
what you're talking about. Also, break.
Fucking shit.
Whoever's up on the Mark 19, Heckman owes you a blowjob.
Oh yeah, that was
We got
the break.
BMPs coming at us from the west. Bravo, hold
Yep.
the Vic here. Let's all get dismounted.
Hold the Vic here. Bravo.
Dismount.
BMP's in.
We got BMPs inbound from the west. Get in this little fucking knoll right here to our west-southwest.
Moving.
Get that AT out and prep just in case.
And although it was unintentional, this
all
dismount
out of
and
the
this
truck.
pause on this hill here is really what sets up the rest of our movement.
Yeah.
As this puts us now on that.
Deckard,
on
I
that
want you
flank
staying
of the
behind
platoon.
Deflade covering out
Got a
to the
great
south.
hold over
Heckman, I
here.
want you
And
staying
everyone
behind
else is kinda
Deflade covering
still
out to the
moving,
fucking
which
north.
puts us
Try not to
as
flag
the
anybody. If anything
Kind of
fucking
free
comes over
face
that
of
hill to
fire
the
element
west, I'll
should
range
they
it for the
fucking
AT.
get hit all of a sudden.
Roger,
But
Deckard, crossing south.
we also didn't really know where this fucking armor was coming from.
Yeah, all we
Sergeant,
knew was
where's
west,
the-
and that's why I
where's
wanted
it
to keep
coming
my
from
guys
again?
behind
All I said
Deflade
was
here.
west-southwest.
Somewhere
Alpha,
out in
go
there,
ahead,
I'm
fucking
guessing.
Disregard for right now. We got 3-4 hunting up on point.
Roger that.
Let's just go.
And then
ahead
as soon
try
as
and
Traces
3-4 is
are
ready
there.
to go, I'm like, nope, it's
Let's
time to
stay
keep
on the
moving.
south side
Yeah.
here.
They got the range and they got the stop and
All right, go ahead
power,
and put
so
the AT away. Stand by to move.
let's keep moving.
Roger that.
3-4's got the jab out.
We're gonna basically jump from fucking Deflade to Deflade here, trying to stay on line with guys.
Surprised we missed the minefields entirely until we had reinserts. Yeah, I didn't even know there was
We're gonna shift
minefields
east
out
here
here.
and circle around Bravo. They're over here on our left.
I don't
Shift,
think anyone did.
south and go around them.
Yeah, it's just being called up to
I
platoon now.
mean, Murph knew, but
Yeah, Murph found out.
Yeah, it just pulled back behind Deflade.
well,
Yeah,
no,
that's
Ringrose found out because he fast rate out of a black block on top of the minefield.
3-3. If you want us pushing up, we can do so. I just shifted left to Bravo here. We can push up.
Yeah, Alpha, go ahead and just keep moving forward.
Roger. Bravo, keep suppressing that fucking gun truck and we'll move up. Alright, let's move up to the next piece of fucking Deflade. Bravo's covering us. Try and get set up on these rocks over here and cover
Mike,
Bravo
okay.
as best we can while they move.
Roger.
Say again for Mike.
Roger.
Yeah, we did this a
Heckman,
lot.
get the machine gun
you know,
set up
like
on the right side of
legit
this rock
bounding
that I'm on,
Overwatch. We did this a
covering that hill
lot.
out there. The other two of you cover the hills to the
Yep.
south and west.
Yep,
Mark
you're right there
19
to the west
again,
northwest.
Roger, light them the fuck up.
Roger, sounds good.
And the thing that I'm noticing at this point is those
Raising
traces.
Yeah, Bravo, we
off
pushed
our
up about
right
75 meters off your
traveling
current 10
some
o'clock to
hell
stay
of
on
a
our right and
distance,
push
so
the
that
right
must
forward.
be the 240s.
Bravo copies, Bravo.
And I'm looking from the kind of Android perspective of what everyone else has got going on, and the thing that I don't notice, and
Right, those
I'm about to
BMPs
call
show
down
up
to
and they start
everyone, is
engaging,
that
just immediately
basically
drop
everyone
back to
else
the
has
east and
more or
grab a little
less
bit of deflate.
stopped moving on our flanks, and we were in the back by 100 meters or so. So I kind of make the call that we're going to get caught up from basically in the back, and I'm going to make a decided push to try and get up and online with our kind of point squad.
Yeah, it's one of those where, you know, we were being engaged in the
Bravo,
way
if
we
you
were
push right past
moving
my pause,
and
you're
in the
gonna see a
position
little
that we were in,
fucking
we
draw
basically
kinda right in
had to
front of
do
me
bounding
to
Overwatch
the
because we were crossing a
2940. You can keep
lot
the
of
vehicle in
open
that and keep
ground.
moving
You
west.
know, it wasn't one of those where
Bravo copies.
it was really necessarily safe for us to just start
All right,
running.
Bravo's going to be rolling
you know?
right by us with the truck. They're
Yeah,
going to be crossing
and
your
the
line. Heckman.
potential for
shit's in
one of
Wouldn't
like
take my
for
spot.
one element to get engaged from some of this sneaky deflate, you know, having that bounding up was,
We have
I
3-2
mean,
and
was
3-4
all
off
good
to
from
our
my
right
perspective, but Platoon makes the call
Send it.
for us all just to pick it up and get moving.
Good to pick it up and
Right.
keep moving. Apparently all,
All right, let's
three
fall
other
in behind the
squads are
truck.
watching us bound,
And
so
eventually
we're
we
bounding
do.
this project.
I'm pretty sure
Alpha solid copies. 3-1
I
still
call
on our
Donnie
left
and
flank.
tell him, hey, like, hold up, let me get back up
Yeah,
in front of you
mostly, but they're
once we get up
pulling
towards
kind
this
of in
hill, because I
front of
didn't want
us
him
at this time. They're
cresting
gonna be
that
just
hill
up
with
here in
just the
front
two of them
of,
and the
Bravo.
truck.
Roger.
Yeah,
All right, 3-1 is going to be
basically
roughly
and because
about our
that
10
truck has
o'clock
got
right now.
it's got to get a fair way up before it
And
can start
everybody else is
depressing
over
that
on our
barrel
right
enough
flank.
to
Yeah.
get working. So, but right here we got a nice bit of deflate to run a truck up, like it's.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. Get pushed up against this
Shooter.
deflate northwest.
I'm in the deflate.
Bravo,
Definitely to the left here.
Alpha, Bravo, send it.
you're on that shooter. He's going to be roughly 288.
Copy, eyes on. Well, eyes on tracers.
Just hold here for right now. I don't want to crowd Bravo with the truck. Just maintain security right here.
So the reason I made that
Actually,
call,
looks like that fucker
if
dropped
you'll
a low
pause it
depth
for me
later.
real
Keep
quick,
moving. Let's get
the way that shooter was engaging from that position, I couldn't quite tell if he had a good angle down into this draw, and I didn't want to go running up onto Bravo's position, because obviously to get up in front of them here, I would have to move through them. I'm not going to push up outside of the draw and run in the open. And I didn't want to push up on their position and risk that machine gun having enfilading fire down through that draw and be able to fucking tear all of us up. Now, it looked like he got dropped fairly quickly, but still, that's why I told my guys to just hold there for a second, because we were in a position to somewhat be able to cover and engage as to where Bravo needed to move the truck up, and I wanted them to get the truck moved up to a position to be able to start putting Mark 19 rounds on it, and then I would be able to push up. So that's why I did that. Let's go ahead and keep going here.
deflate.
Copy.
Bravo, can you hold the truck for a second? I'd like to get my team out there in front of it before you go cresting that hill.
Bravo copies, Vic holding.
All right, that hill that's up there in front of the truck, we're going to get up there and crest that before the truck does.
Copy.
Roger.
And this is fairly simple. Like I said, I just didn't want the truck cresting the hill. I wanted to get up there and get my guys online to crest the hill in front of the truck.
Alpha
Yeah,
solid
at this
copy.
point
We're
it's
gonna need
basically
about
us
20,
and
30 Sierra to
3-1
get up here in front of the
racing
truck
to
and
get on
clear
point
this hill.
for a fair while.
Yeah.
Yeah, understood. No rush.
I'm pretty sure at this point they've moved onto our
Bravo, we're
north
gonna be crossing your
flank,
barrels as
if
you're
I'm
going into
remembering this
northeast.
part of the mission rightly.
Bravo
So a
copies.
lot of my security calls are going to be out to the
both
south.
these
Bravo
be
knows we're
advised,
crossing them.
looks like
We're gonna
most
stop
of our
short of the
heat
crest,
is
get
off to our
online,
rough
and then push over the
bearing
crest.
290 to our northwest.
And I just recognized there real quick that Bravo was covering out to the north, so I just let them know, hey, we're going to be
AT off
crossing your
to my
barrels.
right side, where we got
Yep.
armor marks out to the 290. Get the AT4 off to my right. All right, hold short here. Get online.
Alpha, we're going to push my battle buddy team up on your left flank.
And that there, the
Bravo's
call
got 2 guys
for,
coming up on
even
our
though
left.
he's not
I'm gonna
fucking
redirect
listening,
you slightly
apparently
bearing,
confused right with left.
310 to the next
We got the
hilltop
call
on the
that
push
ArmA was at
out
our 290,
3-1,
which
it's
is
got a good pod
roughly
set up
west
there.
northwest, which is
We're gonna
why
bring
I
Three
wanted
one's
the
already
AT on my
in
right.
We're good.
But we crest the hill and we see the
We're gonna
3-1's
shift
already up
bearing
here.
310 right up to 3-1's
Yep.
pause on top of that hill.
Roger, 310.
Just stick in a left echelon, just in case something comes over those hills to the southwest.
Bravo copies.
Alpha, solid copy on your last. We're rolling right up 3-1's pause.
Roger that, Alpha. Let's see if we can skyline less bad than they are. Over.
Yeah, that's a deal.
Sounds good.
That's not a hard one to pull off.
Interrogative, you got a specific sector you want us covering?
We're not a rag on 3-1, I just
fucking-
didn't want to
actually, let's
fucking
call
pull
them
that
southwest.
shit.
No, it
right
looked
off.
like
Get
a
hold of
goddamn
3-1,
Let's
they're not answering
use
me,
this
I'll
little
fucking
bit of fucking
nature
ridge
painting
here,
with a bunch of
12,
trees on
cover
top
out
of a
to the
hill.
Southwest. This is 3-1 right
Happy
here on top of the
Alexis.
hill.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Copy, Southwest Security.
Roger.
It's set up like right here.
Alright, I'm in touch with
I
3-1.
really
They're in
dislike this
contact with
position,
their
but I
north,
didn't want to push
northeast,
right up on 3-1.
Fucking west out to south is all going to be ours.
Alpha, solid copy. Bravo, if you want to set up on our left, disregard, you're already on it.
Bravo copies. We're pushing the Vic over here on your left.
We got a helo inbound. Helo inbound, everyone fucking spread it out.
And here I'm
Right on,
now
enemy
trying to
rotary in
find
the
some
area.
fucking
Push
actual
back down
cover.
to the south. Push back down towards the
there's
south,
none.
away from
No
everybody
intel
else.
this time.
No, just that little fucking kind of
Alpha,
bowl
we're
that
gonna
I
push
see down here.
slope to the south to kind of spread it out.
Yep.
Roger. Both teams be advised.
Which I mean, it's hard. We always talk about getting stuck on the front
Heroes
side of the
apparently
hill,
fucking
but
north.
getting
Let's
stuck
try and
on the
get down
back
this
side
little
of the
bit
hill
of
with no
depth light
fucking
here just to the
cover on can
south.
be just as bad.
Mm-hmm.
Copy.
3-3 interrogative. Do we know if 3-1 took care of that Humvee to the northeast?
I mean, that's honestly one of the reasons that I spend so much time just kind of
hanging
looking
in cover to
around.
the southwest as best we can from
Because I'm
here.
constantly looking for new cover to move to.
Did 3-1 take care of the Humvee to the northeast?
Believe so.
All right, Bravo, I'm going to be about 50 meters downslope to roughly your 7 o'clock. So anything out to your kind of extreme south, we got you covered.
Bravo copies.
And there, I'm just letting Bravo know exactly what we're covering, so he knows what sector he doesn't
Hopefully
need to
we got an
cover,
update
and
on the
also if
rotary.
he hears a bunch of gunshots and doesn't hear from me, he knows exactly where I am. Without even having to open his Android, he knows I'm, 50, 75 meters off his 7.
Not at this time.
Yep.
Roger.
And so again, from my perspective at this point, because we got not a lot going on, at
I do not
at
like this
the
fucking
kind of
position.
platoon level, what I'm looking at is what's kind of everyone else doing, where are they moving, and how can we sort of fit into that.
Bravo,
We're
you
trying
got
to
anywhere up
maintain
there
a
I
little
can set
bit
my
of
fucking team up and relative
safety,
safely, not
thanks
right
to
on top of your
Mr.
north side.
Inbound Helicopter that we're still waiting for.
Oh, actually, pause it here real quick. Go ahead and keep going, but pause it.
Yeah. All I'm kind of listening to is kind of what everyone else is doing, what they're seeing, and how they're moving. And at this point, really, no one's kind of in contact. We're just kind of just generally sort of moving forward. There might be the kind of occasional shots going out for suppression or whatever, but the platoon's not really in contact. So it's just about trying to keep everyone informed about what we're doing, what our intent is, and how that sort of works to support them.
Right. Just overall, keeping up the communication and shit. So what I just did, I just called Donnie, or called Bravo, and asked him, hey, do you see a position up around there for my team to set up that's not like right on top of your position, basically? Because obviously I don't have great eyes from where I'm currently at. So I call the other team and ask them, do you see somewhere I can set my team up that isn't right on top of you? Because I want to get a better position for these guys, but I don't want to be right on top of fucking Bravo. We've had IDF, we've had rotary assets coming into the area, so on and so forth. So obviously we want to keep our spacing, but I need a better fucking position, and I'm not in a position to be able to find it. Donnie might be in a better position to find it. I'm not going to run all the way up there by myself. I'm not going to have Heckman drop his sector to come running up there with me. So I just lean on my other team leader a little bit and say, hey, you got a spot up there I can set up. And let's go ahead and hit play and see what Donnie says.
Maybe. All right, here we go. That hates me now. You try.
See, Hardman always breaking shit.
It's not my fault.
Nope.
Come on. Keep it in play. There we go.
Rest of our pause, we've got fucking a bit of a draw and some rocks if you want to set up over there.
Roger, will that leave us exposed out to the southwest?
There's rock cover that will protect you from the southwest.
Roger, we'll give it a try. Stand by to move.
Yeah, standing by.
Alright, we're going to push back up slope and then punch west of Bravo's current pause. He said he's got a little draw over there we can use.
Disregard on the helo.
Let's
We
move,
think someone may have
northwest.
heard Lancer.
Oscar Mike.
And somebody got
Alpha
scared by Lancer.
Bravo.
But you would have just heard me give
Really, we're
the
gonna
give the call to my guys to stand by to
somebody
move. That's
might
something
mistake
that
Lancer
I
for
always
enemy
do when I'm
infantry.
team leading,
3-3 Bravo.
or even squad leading. When I
Send it.
give the call
Permission
of
to
stand by to
push
move,
west a bit
that's just a
more,
verbal
might get over
verbal
to
command to
this
my
kind of
guys
fucking
to drop their
saddle over here.
sectors and get ready to move. They're gonna have a move order within the next 30 seconds to.
Yeah,
So just go ahead and drop
move.
their security.
I'm just gonna abandon all.
It's just a
open
way
this
for
way.
us
We're
to
just gonna do
get
what makes
moving
sense to
quicker,
us.
basically.
Yep.
Set up right around here.
And it means that if someone
Heckman, go
has
ahead
to
and take
punch
this
out a
fucking
little
rock.
bit for security, they can
Or
start
actually,
to
yeah, that's
weasel
better.
their way
Just stay
back
there.
in
I'll
as
build you
well.
a fucking trench out there.
3-2 pushed
Better
out a whole
eyes.
bunch by themselves, and now they have contacts on their north side, and basically no one can support them. 3-4's kind of working on it. They're like
And I start
300 meters
pushing
away.
Heckman along the ground with my trench.
And yes, I'm aware we're moving west. And so this is really the start of 3-2 getting separated out on the
That is
north
auto
side.
cannon fire coming
Yeah.
from our west-northwest.
And again, like I was saying
today
before, like I
3-4's,
get it, they were chasing
moving right
contact,
up on
but
that, so
it
they should be able to take care
yeah,
of it.
we spent a little bit of
3-4's
time here and a
moving on
little
that
bit
road,
talking
Cameron.
about kind of their position as it starts to relate to us.
They just had a
Yeah,
jack below.
they allowed themselves to get a little
Alpha, the jack
overextended.
below.
With the jab. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, did he realize just get behind cover to get a marker?
Alright, Mason or Deckard, one of you two go ahead and fucking dig a trench for yourselves.
Understood.
And let me just find the meme I made for this situation.
Alright, Heckman, you're good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Alright, we're gonna
Assholes.
move out to this hilltop
Oh, you're
to our
fucking
northwest
shitting me.
with C31 skyline.
Stand by, we're gonna be moving out to that hill to our
Bravo,
fucking
copy,
312. Alpha copy, stand by, move.
Alpha, as soon as Bravo's fixed out of your way, just go ahead and start moving.
Alright, let's move. We're gonna stay on the left side of fucking Bravo's Vic.
Alpha Bravo.
Send it.
Roger. Do you want to push out in front of us?
We can run alongside you. I'm gonna have my guys kind of punch out to the left here to cover your flank while you roll. Just stick in the left echelon.
Solid copy.
So the reason I did that, rather than going out in front of the truck, because we already have 3-1 kind of cover in the front, our left is really exposed here.
Bravo.
So that's why I wanted my whole team, rather than being in front of the truck, I wanted them on the left side of the truck to be able to cover the flank.
Way left of that, towards the saddle.
Yep. Sounds good.
And it's actually funny because Donnie's calling, you know, can we move to that saddle, the same saddle that I'm
3-3
fucking
was
staring at,
possibility
like
of us
thinking
just
the
pushing
exact same
beyond
thing.
3-1's pause and setting up on that next hill
Yep.
to our west-northwest.
And there's things where I think that's a mix of
Sounds good
me
to me.
making
Just
those
make
calls
that
rather
normal.
than just sort of hearing what
Roger.
like where
Bravo, if you want
platoon's
to set the
pointing
truck
at.
up in the
That's also
fucking
just the advantage
saddle right
of
there,
having
we'll push up
you know,
to the
everyone
hilltop.
looking, everyone being in a position where they're free to flow
Bravo,
suggestions
attack,
up and
pushing
down.
airtime now.
You know,
Alright,
work it
change
out as a
plans a little
team,
bit. That
and we
bigger
just
hill
make
to
it
our
happen.
fucking west-northwest. We're
Yeah.
gonna crest that. They're gonna leave the truck in the saddle.
And there's
This
the
is
fucking
Alpha.
rocket
We got
artillery.
fucking MLRS.
Artillery inbound.
Get up
Yep.
here against this fucking deflate. Get
And
up
as
here
you can
against this
imagine at this
deflate.
point, basically all of SquadNet,
We've got
all of
about
Platoon
exploded.
Net,
seconds
it's just
before they
everyone
hit.
calling out MLRS.
It looked fucking beautiful though, man.
Go prone right here.
Oh yeah, I'd be down for more
Up
MLRS.
to your fucking left.
Yeah, as long as I don't
Yep,
get hit
spread it
by
out
it.
to the fucking south.
Don't like how this is
Which I
going
mean, we
They
did
should land
more or
behind
less.
us.
I mean, you guys did a little bit.
This is
but
Alpha. They're gonna be close behind us.
Squad as a whole came out.
Yeah.
Bravo, keep that fucking
Well, we
truck
only
rolling
really
to
got
the
hit
west.
by it at the start. Not so much while we were out here.
Bravo copies.
Because even that MCI, we didn't get hit by it. We stopped. Luckily, we stopped because we didn't know if everybody got
Alright,
off
let's move. It's behind
the
us.
fucking position, which you guys will see here
I got
shortly.
movement at the top of the fucking hill.
The one we're heading towards?
Hey, firm. I had one fucking single shooter.
Roger. Don't engage. Let me check and see if 3-1 fucking moved up there and we didn't see him. 3-3, do we know if 3-1 pushed up to that hill in front of us?
3-1 has moved up to be on our north side in this saddle now. We can keep moving on their south side here up to the next one.
You got me in the open.
Yep. Fucking suppress as best you can. Heckman, get to cover.
I gotta move.
Bravo, I need you to suppress the top of that fucking hill.
We're suppressing the move.
Alright, I'm set.
This was so beautiful. Just like, we got caught out in the open.
Get moving, boys.
The guy engaged, you know, guys just immediately
Bravo
started putting
suppressing force
overwhelming
from Mark. Let's get
firepower up
pushed
on
up.
that hill, and we got behind cover. They stopped the truck, and we got pushed out in front of the truck.
Bravo,
And then
hold
fucking-
fire with the mark. Hold fire with the
Excuse
mark.
me, 3-1 came in from the
You got
right.
friendlies to
We
get
came up
fucking
from the
one.
left. It was gorgeous.
Go ahead, be the first ticket.
Bravo copies.
Yeah, for sure. And what you just
Push
hear,
it,
317 in the
shoot
background
up,
there,
smoke
is
time
A
that
firm.
I'd said to him, look, we're going to push all the way up to the hilltop, and he said, you know,
All right, I'm going
go
to slow
for it,
walk it. I want you
basically.
guys to line to my left.
But what I didn't know is how far pushed up 3-1 was.
Yeah, I didn't realize how
3-3, is that
quick
3-1 on
they
top
were
of the hill
fucking
right now?
moving.
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
pulling the lead
apparently
out.
they
I
just
don't know
pulled
what fucking drugs.
Roger,
they're-
can
but
you
I'll
tell
have
them to
some.
slow the fuck down so we can get up on their left flank?
Yeah, we're trying.
Moving it up to a jog. Just stay on line with me.
I try and convey a lot
Roger.
through
We're
my
going to try and
tone.
get up here and secure 3-1's left flank, so once we get up here, we kind of cover to the west and to the south.
Roger.
Yeah, I just wanted to get up on these guys' flank because I didn't want them to get hit from the south. I didn't want anything to come up that slope from the south and start hitting them in their flank. And so that's why I wanted them to stop. It wasn't a matter of like, hey, we want to get in the fight too. It's like, dude, you guys are moving up here out of line with us, and you're exposing yourselves, basically.
Yeah, and it was a huge piece of
Yeah,
terrain
Roger, we'll
too.
clear this left
Yeah.
side. 3-1 should have our
And there's
fucking
more
rockets.
rockets.
We
There they
got rockets going out again. Get up against these rocks and lay down.
Push, push, push.
It's
Watch out for
Those rockets.
an LSR.
Those rockets are headed for 3-2,
Now what-
just FYI.
I'm just going to pause this here real quick as well. So, if anyone has a spare bit of time and they wanna see this from another perspective, go check out Sergeant Lee's video, because this strike I call out that it's headed for 3-2, and from his perspective, it looks like they're going to hit him on the fucking forehead. Like they're perfectly lined up, and you can tell that they're definitely heading right at them.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
this is an incredibly tense moment for 3-2. Like, their calls over platoon are the equivalent of we're about to be MCI'd. Like, they were 100% convinced they were all about to go down based on the vectors these rockets were coming on, and everyone was basically bracing themselves to go deal with it. Luckily, they got out of it with only kind of minor casualties, which, you know, full credit to them for getting that done. But yeah, it was it was very tense waiting to hear what was going to happen to 3-2, because, and you know, from their video, I'm just watching his micro dagger, and everyone goes from being fairly well on an engagement line to they spread themselves out over basically an entire grid square. They were like,
Oh, Jesus.
we're gonna fucking, and they just got out of dodge, and I mean, it worked. It was effective. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out, because I mean, they did a great job up there keeping themselves safe in the face of what they were convinced was complete.
Certain fucking death.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope not, because we're 3-3.
I said 3-2. Just fucking stand by. We might have to QRF down there if they get it.
hold pause. We might have to fucking react to wherever those things hit.
Never mind. They're way too fucking far away. Just take this.
And yeah,
Alright,
so
never
that
mind.
call
Let's
from
keep pushing
me
up the
is
hill.
that basically, even if we had to
Alpha,
go get him,
copy, we're
We
it
weren't
was
in
going to take us
position.
too long to get there.
Yeah.
They were the northern element, we were the southern element.
Bravo copies. Our Vic
It
is
wouldn't have
struggling with
made
this fucking hill
sense
right
for
now.
us to have to deviate
Watch
that
that fucking
far.
downslope on our left.
Fucking 3-7.
Alright, 3-2's all green.
Can you yell to him to get his ass back up here, not on our left flank?
And
He's behind us now.
the reason I
Alright,
just
let's
did
all
that
get
because I didn't
fucking
want
sector set up
any
out to the
platoon
west.
HQ element
Try and get set up
on
so
the
we can
flank
have,
set up right
of
here.
the rifle
friendly
platoon,
squads
because if something
faster.
happens to them, obviously it's big fucking problems.
Roger,
I want
Alpha's
my
coming
guys
down at
covering the
left
flank,
end
not
here. We can
platoon.
cover out to the west and south pretty well.
Copy on that.
Yep, sounds good, Alpha. Keep an eye on that.
Yeah, we have
fucking
Heckman for
MSR,
cannon
so
fodder.
you guys know
We'll
what's gonna
send
come
it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, Roger.
Or in this case, rocket
Heckman, I
fodder.
want you set up covering this
I got
fucking
what
road
looks
that's
like
running to the
a
west.
Fucking fire team
On
bearing
your left already.
272 on thermals. They're on the fucking backside of that def lead up there.
Alright, we got a, looks like a fire team 272 just on the
Eyes
backside of
one
that.
shooter.
Yeah, I think I have eyes on a
They're line left to
guy
right.
crouching out there. 275.
This is Alpha. Eyes on those guys. We do got them lined up.
This is also something else we don't do a lot in the unit, which is observe a position without just immediately engaging it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of an Ataract that guys forget a lot is command and control.
Yep.
And
there was no
there we
point us
see
engaging.
fucking four just opening up.
Decided they wanted to engage.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead and light 'em
Yeah,
up.
and then in the end, as I just called out there, Havoc 4 ended up putting a fire mission down there, and the 240s saw the
Heckman, don't
opportunity to
burn
go
too
to
much.
work.
Yeah,
But
shooters
making
down.
the call to stop
Right behind them,
Heckman's
so,
engagement was, I think, the right thing to do there as well, because there
Yeah,
was nothing the Saul
We
was
got an
going to
enemy
do.
bird coming directly at us.
Yeah, there was just no reason to waste the ammunition in that situation. And then
Bravo, try and get that
we
truck
basically
behind
try and
Deflate.
pile behind this little tiny fucking rock for cover from the
Stay
bird
behind
coming
these
in.
fucking rocks as best you can.
Which is medium effective.
Yeah.
Hackman, see if you can smoke them. Never mind, jab's going out.
And this, the only
Alpha
reason I
jab,
told
get that
Hackman
on.
to engage, even though, you know, we do have the ammo issues and stuff, is
Are we
because it was
competing
flying
to see who can
directly
call it
at
quicker?
us.
Yeah.
And then me
I
and
said,
you
are
were
we
calling shit
competing
out
to
at the
see who
same
can call the
time.
jab out quicker?
But yeah, you know, the jab goes out, so I told him
Also,
to never
one,
mind. But that's the only reason I
specialist
told Saw to
Heckman claimed the
engage,
kill
is
on that
because it
one.
was flying directly at us, which is a fairly easy shot to make.
Kill for PFC Heckman.
Yep. And this is Heckman's
Oh, damn,
demotion.
you got,
I shot
Yeah.
the gas cap.
you got demoted
How
to
long do you
PFC.
expect to be on the hilltop?
Like fucking 3 minutes longer than I want to be on the hilltop for.
Copy.
And again, I try and convey a lot of what's going on without having
Yeah,
to
so
use a
would
lot
I.
of words for it.
Yeah, we all basically were like, okay, let's get the fuck out of here now.
This is Alpha, eyes on that MBT, bearing 308, probably a click out.
We were so lucky we
Stay
didn't
in
push
your current
any
positions.
farther,
The fucking
basically
MBT is
west
out
from
to
there.
our northwest and cannot
Because that
engage.
tank would have been able to
no
hit
radar.
us.
Well, there might have been
We're just
ISR on
on
it,
jab
but
out,
we
I'm
hadn't
assuming it's at
heard that
that.
ISR.
Mm-mm.
It's Alpha, we got more rockets coming in.
And here, all
Just
nets
fucking stay low.
explode about rockets, but this time they're not going for 3-2.
Alright, 3-3, push west.
Yeah, and
push
this,
west.
like, there,
Alright, disregard,
there's
get up.
the only
Push 'em west.
option we have is run, basically.
Keep it spread the fuck out as best you can.
Pushing west.
That
And
MBT
especially
just got
with
hit by that jab.
the fucking radius of a full salvo like that.
Just get out from that fucking MLR.
Yeah, and
Now,
the only
we
reason
could be running into it, but I'm
Bravo, how's the truck
making the call here that I reckon we're running away from it.
Yeah, and the only reason that,
Mason,
like,
check in.
well, not the only reason, but the reason I agree with that call is because of the flight time on the rockets. We know there's roughly 30 seconds,
Right.
maybe to 45 seconds, depending upon range, on the flight time on those rockets. So it
3-3,
is enough
3-1
time
up
to,
in front
you
of
know,
us.
cover a little bit of fucking ground. And
Yep.
we just had all those rounds
that
land up
3-1
on top of the
in front of
hill,
us?
and
Yeah, fam.
we're trying to
Did
figure out
everybody get off that
now
hill?
if everybody got out.
We're trying to find out time.
Yeah, and at this point, so I'm gonna pause that here real quick. At this point, I said, you called me, you know, what's happening up there, and I was like, we're trying to figure out, because at this point, Platoon Net's just going fucking berserk about
Right.
what is happening on top of it. And in the absence of clearer information, I was like, I don't fucking know. Like, we are trying to figure out. I think in the end, we got like a 4 or a 5 IC step up from 3-4.
Yeah.
And 3-7 makes the call because 3-6 is down up there along with Romeo, who ends up going KIA. And I'm like, all right, we're going. What I'm going to just talk about it here now while we're paused. The call that I also get from Platoon is to push the truck up to load casualties up and to get them out.
Yeah.
But I make the call not to, because I reckon that's going to be more trouble than it's fucking worth. I reckon we're better off just getting up there and putting work in, because we're going to get boots on the hill before we get a truck on the hill, especially after we've just come so far down a relatively steep slope. So
Yeah,
I kick
plus
back on
we've
that and
just
I'm like, no,
had-
we're pushing a fire team up. The truck is going to just be too slow. I'm going to keep it down here on security.
Yeah, that, and it would have been incredibly exposed up there on top of that hill. I mean, we just had a tank engaging up there. You know, we just had rotary come through there. That's a really, really big target sitting on the top of a hill.
Yeah, 100%. So that's kind of, I guess, the backstory to everything that's about to unfold here.
Yeah, and you guys will hear and see here in just a second kind of how things could have definitely been worse had, I'm not wanting to like toot my horn here or anything like that. But oftentimes in these situations, we just had, an artillery strike. We got the order to move. We moved. We got out okay. The way this next part unfolds is not traditionally how it unfolds, because traditionally guys just keep going. We didn't make that call because it's primarily me and Heckman, who, as most of you guys know, we put a lot of care into the guys. Like we give a shit about the guys, and that influences the way we play. So he called and asked if everybody got off. I called and asked if everybody got off the hill. And then here in just a second, I make the call to stop my fire team, to stop pushing forward, because I'm waiting for the call that we have an MCI, we need help. If that call comes, I already know I'm sending my team back up that hill to get those guys out. If it doesn't come, then we can just start moving again. It didn't cost me anything to stop my team for 20 seconds to get information. It did end up saving some guys, though.
Yeah, 100%. And the other thing too is that from a platoon HQ perspective, they were just letting us make those calls as well. It was like everyone knows the situation and everyone was kind of pitching in to get it done. So I'm gonna pick the video back up and then we'll talk a little bit more after the MCI up here gets resolved.
Roger, I'm gonna short halt up here in this fucking saddle just in case they didn't. All right, we're going to get up to these couple of rocks up here in front of us and then hold just in case they didn't get everybody off that fucking hill and we got to push back there.
All right, we have to pull back up on the hilltop.
Yep, turn around. They got an MCI.
3-6 is down and a bunch of other people.
Roger, Alpha will take that. Bravo, if you want to get the truck pushed down into the def lead where it's safer and try and maintain security as best you can, we'll take care of it.
Bravo, copies.
And that's the reason, that we just talked about the truck being up on top of the hill and being exposed and so on. That's why I told Bravo, just keep moving, get that truck down into cover. I didn't want that truck sitting up on top of that hill, exposed, and us not having any security out to the southwest.
Just get up here and ask the medics.
I figured if the truck pushed down there, at least there's somebody holding security for us, and the truck's probably not going to get blown up.
Yep. And something that we don't,
back here somewhere.
I think a lot of guys may not think about too, is that we are fighting the elite guard, who are a fixed, country's military. They know this terrain. This is, in their area.
Yeah, turn left.
They are an organized military with resources. So if they wanted to start, mounting some fucking MBTs up and pushing them on us, they would be able to do that really easily. It's not like we're fighting a militia who tend to be a little bit more haphazardly organized.
Fucking splashes.
Yeah, Roger, stand by. I'll get there in 1 sec. Just trying to.
And bandages everywhere.
Right now.
All right, there is tons of people already working on people. Let's push right past them to the north here and set up security.
So here I recognize there's nobody over on the north side providing security. So that's immediately what I tell my guys to do is, get off on the north, provide security as best we can, because I don't want anything sneaking
over here. We're
up
setting
this
up
flank.
security. Heckman, cover out to the fucking northwest here.
And so 3-2 is down there somewhere. I'm not 100% sure where, but we'll see their traces.
Mason,
here
get over here
shortly.
and help with security to the fucking...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were just off to our northwest here.
Light them the fuck up. This is Alpha. We're currently suppressing out to the west, northwest, maintaining security for the MCI.
And if you pause here real quick, the whole reason, and I end up doing this later on as well with another vehicle, not necessarily the exact same situation, but the reason that I told Heckman to engage right here, even though it's really beyond the legit effective range of his machine gun, he can obviously suppress that that vehicle, but what I wanted him doing in this situation was drawing the fire. Because I didn't know if that Humvee had an angle on any casualties on the top of the hill or any potential casualties on the face of the slope. So I wanted him drawing the fire of that Humvee, basically getting its attention so it's not engaging someone else. We're in a decent position where we can drop back or we can shift left to get into cover if it does start engaging us. But other guys may not be in as a good a position to be able to get cover from this thing. So I wanted him drawing any fire from that Humvee that he could, which... Again, that's why I told him to engage, not necessarily because I'm expecting him to be able to drop that driver and gunner. I just want him to get their attention.
Yeah, and it ended up being pretty good directional aid for 3-2 who are down there as well, because obviously they can see the saw traces going out. And at this point they had a M2 with a crows on it, so I'm pretty sure here they start going to work vaguely soon, but you might have moved, I think, before they actually start that engagement.
Yeah, because as soon as the MCI gets done, we get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, because I didn't want to stay up here any longer than we had to, because like I said at the start of this, like, easiest thing to do is repeat a fire mission, so...
Stand by to be
Be ready to move.
Reloading.
Pull back off this rock. He's trying to range us with a mark.
Yeah, see, now they start engaging. The attention was on us. 3-2 starts engaging. We're good to basically pull off of that position.
Pull off that rock if he fucking...
He fell back.
Roger. Yeah, and at this point, we're getting the MCI getting called up as getting resolved, and we're
Oh
getting...
shit, he's getting fucked up.
There's like one more guy
Yeah, they're
down,
hitting him with another
which you
mark.
run into here in a sec, but I'm like, no, we're good to go, we're getting out of here.
I got it.
Because any position that gets fucking totally overrun like this is a sign for me that it's time to move.
Yeah.
Well below fucking defilade pretty much every other victim.
Sergeant McCoy, I got Sergeant Booker's tags.
I seen that little flash of light up on that hill, which is
Alright,
just a
let's go
graphical
and,
glitch
get
from
moving back
ArmA,
out
but
here.
I
Same
thought
route
it
we
was
came
like
in.
a BMP or something engaging, which is why I looked at it real quick. I was like, what the fuck was that?
Alpha, we're pulling out.
Yeah, I saw
pulling
the
back
same
out of here.
thing. I
Same route
was
we came
staring
in.
at it with thermals for a couple of seconds just to make sure.
You need help with this guy?
I need CPR on him, top.
Alright.
I'm doing CPR.
Tree Bravo.
Disregard.
Ekman, try and give us fucking security as best you can. We're gonna get CPR going on this guy.
Do you want us to pull left or
Roger,
right?
I'm
And
pushing
actually,
up
we've
your
got
fucking
fixed both
northeast.
sides of it at the moment.
Yep.
Stand by, I'll have a look.
Doing CPR.
It's Alpha, we had to halt. There was one more casualty. We got CPR and stuff going on.
Roger, thanks, Alpha. Bravo, Bravo, south side. South side of that hill, bro.
Yeah, in that situation, just I seen Lion working on somebody. Obviously, I wasn't gonna have him fucking working on somebody by himself.
We're already moving.
Roger, will do.
Alright, anyone who's still on this hilltop, fucking...
Alright, we're good.
Alright,
Our
let's
last
go.
guy is up, let's go.
Alpha's moving.
And we kind of lost it there just under a bunch of other traffic, but what we're working out at this position is that we've got 3-1 and 3-2 going around the north side
time you start
of
praying
the hill that
whatever
you're
fucking
about to be
deity
looking
you
at.
choose.
And I'm talking to them on platoon. I'm like, we're going to be on the south side of this hill, so your south flank is going to be covered. And this is where I think I make the call to you that we're going to try and get online with them.
About a second one.
I saw a fucking 240 gunner over a body.
Fuck.
Those traces are obviously very bad news.
Yeah, and that's why I'm fucking want to hurry up and get pushed up to that fucking hill as quick as possible, so we can cover that left flank for them.
Bravo, are you tracking all those fucking tracers coming from the southwest?
Bravo is tracking.
I got silhouettes
on top of the hilltop.
I got silhouettes on top of that fucking sky, on top of that ridge to the 266.
Roger, stand by.
Basically, I'm just telling him that information so that if he gets the truck up into a position to see those guys skylining, he might be able to engage with the mark. So as soon as they're kind of cresting that little spur coming down off the hilltop, his grenadier already knows where to look.
Uh, 3-3 is Alpha.
Go.
3-3, are we supposed to be pushing onto this hill to the northwest? Because it's pretty crowded up there given the amount of fucking IDF we've been taking.
No, we're going to stay here on the south side of this hilltop with Bravo. Stand by, I'm going to have to look at
We're going to push up here on the
But
right
you-
side of Bravo up in all these rocks.
You can't necessarily tell there, but the reason I keep looking off to the left is one, to watch that ridge line to see if anything's skylining there, but two, I'm also trying to potentially plan out our movement over to that left side, over to that left ridge, to get up onto that fucking elevation.
We can push about fucking 400 meters, and then we'll be online with 3-2.
Interrogative, did you say 400 meters?
That's an AFA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3-2 is just fucking out by themselves pulling a Rambo right now.
Left
so
echelon it. We gotta push a ways
provide them
to
some
get online with
support, that'd be
3-2. Just stay on the fucking south slope of this hill.
And so then what we're doing at
Alpha, solid
platoon at
copy.
this point is
Bravo, I'm going to put my guys in the left
basically setting that
echelon.
up
If you
with
just want to roll
3-2,
behind us, we'll kind of
and then
fucking act as a shield for you.
3-7 jumps in and sort of adjusts that a little bit. None of it ends up happening,
Roger.
but
Get pushed up the slope if you can.
We kind of had a
Bravo
bit of a
hold.
plan going there at sort of in the
Right in
background.
front of you. Fucking due west.
I got no eyes on him, Heckman.
Stand by.
And here, Heckman calls out the shooter
I
direct
see him.
front. I see him once he starts engaging with his rifle. But the reason I told Bravo to hold is because I didn't
let's keep
know
it moving.
what that guy had. He could have had an RPG or something.
We're
I
gonna
just
drop
wanted
right
that
into
truck
that
to
def lead.
stop so that, you know,
Shift
if it
down,
was
slope
outside
here,
of his
so
view, it wasn't
Bravo
able
can
to
follow us with the
engage.
truck.
If it was inside of his view,
Bravo,
they
we're
were
gonna
able to
shift south,
engage
down
with the
slope,
mark
so you
because
can
they're
follow
sitting
us with the
still.
truck, and we'll get right up in this
Yeah,
def leg and
and I
cross the
think
hill
that's one of
for
those things that truck has to skyline so far before it can get
Bravo,
effective.
copy. We are suppressing that ridgeline you're pushing towards. We'll lift it in another 10 Sierra.
Roger, Tango Mike. Alright, Bravo's suppressing that fucking ridge with the mark until we get pushed up here.
And it's one of those calls there, which is a really simple kind of basic infantry call to shift and lift fire, but something you don't necessarily hear going on a lot. But again, it's something that you can communicate so much information so quickly.
Alright, we're gonna hold
just
short
by
of the
sticking
crest
with that training
right here
that
in
we
front
all
of us
kind
at
of
the
go through.
fucking 278, and then
Yeah, and that
Bravo
left
get
flank
pushed
for
up
us
here,
is
and
kind
then
of
we'll kinda
exposed,
push up
and
online together.
even if there's nothing there, if there's something back behind that deflate, you're not going to be, you know,
Bravo,
you're not
we're
going to
gonna
want
hold
to
just
walk
short of this crest until
into,
you get the
you
truck
know,
pushed up
HE
here. If you
fire
wanna roll up
to be
on
able to
my
flank
team's
us as a
left,
fire
and then
team.
we'll
So even
crest
if
all
Bravo's
together.
not directly
Just keep
engaging
the truck
something,
behind us.
they're still protecting us because it's
Bravo
stopping
copies.
stuff from wanting to move through that HE
Alright,
to
hold
get to our
short here.
flank.
Got some
Yeah,
orders,
area
Zeus,
denial is very useful.
Fucking autocannon firing over top of our heads. Can't hit us from here.
Auto cannon. Yeah, copy.
Heckman, kind of keep an eye out
As
on
we
that
advised, 3-2's gonna
northwest
move down
ridge
here
where
and
that fucking
buddy up with
Humvee's
us.
at.
But we are gonna fucking have to wait for them a hot second. They flip their truck. They're waiting for a tow to unflip it.
Roger, you said that was 3-2?
AFM 3-2 right now is 250 meters to our due north.
So 3-2 ended up basically on that MSR
Roger.
that we were
You still want us
Yeah.
crest
on
on
one
this
of our
hill?
fragos going to drive along.
Just hold here for a minute. We're going
3-1's up there trying to flip their truck right side up again for us.
Also be advised, 3-4's up on the hill behind
Alright, just
us.
maintain behind defilade right now. 3-4 is trying to get a
3-1
shot
is
on that
pushing down
auto
to
cannon
3-2,
before
so
we
I'll be
actually
on our
push
due
over this
north here
defilade.
in probably a minute or two as well.
I got infantry movement to my northwest, top of the ridge. Bearing 320.
Go ahead and engage them.
Alpha is 3-3.
We don't have anybody off in that direction, basically. Alpha, send it.
Alpha, if you can find a safe way to do so, go
Whoa,
ahead.
whoa, hold.
So
Stop
we can
engagement.
push
You see
up
that
and
vehicle in
clear out
placement?
This Blue Force 0449,
Affirm.
and then get a good bit of defilade looking to the
Yeah, so let me
west.
slide back. Let me slide back. He's probably
Roger, 3-3, I'm going to need you on my pause. Time now.
Roger, I'm coming.
Yeah, and this, I just call for you to come over to my pause because it's
pull back,
easier
stay
than trying
behind
to
this
explain it
defilade,
over
cover
the
out to the
radio where it
southwest as
is
best
when
you
I can
can.
just bring you up here and point it out to you because it has no idea that we're here.
Yeah, Heckman,
Yep.
set up like
And
right
I mean,
in
you
there
and I
or
have a
something,
lot of
covering out to the
experience
southwest.
standing next to each other and pointing at a thing
Yeah.
saying that.
Mason,
So,
go ahead and pull back. You ain't going to be able to reach anything out there.
Roger.
But
We got a
what
vehicle
ends
in
up happening
placement out
here is
there,
I make you say it like a
322. Range is
million
going to be
times
1454. Can't
because
see what it
I
is or if
choose
it's
this
active.
moment to go fucking
Alpha,
berserk.
send it.
Right.
We're gonna hold security off your left flank while you clear out that blue force marker.
Give me that range again.
Solid copy, Bravo.
Awesome.
1454.
And right now, I'm not that worried about that blue
Some type
force
of
marker
fucking
because I know my guys are
built-up
holding
fighting
security.
position. I can't tell if
I'm
the
just
vehicle's
worried about this
active in
fucking
there or not.
vehicle.
It looks
Yeah,
like it
and
might
at
be
this
blown
point,
up.
I'm having
Oh, we had infantry just
ongoing
over there,
string
and I
of
didn't want
visibility
myself
problems in
engaging.
ArmA, so I am not seeing it that clearly, which is why I get you just to give me a quick description of it, and then I just
stand
call
by
it
to
straight up
push
to
over
platoon
this
for
fucking
ISR.
defilade onto that mark that's right in front
Yeah,
of us.
and like I said, you know,
0449,
say in the
we're
video,
engaging
like I
these guys a
can't
little bit
tell
ago.
through the vectors if it's fucking destroyed or not, and it hadn't engaged yet. So it's like, fuck, man, I don't know if this thing's gonna, you know, tear us up if we come up over this defilade or what.
Yeah, or Warlord could have killed it 20 minutes ago, and we just never heard about
Yeah.
it in between the MLRS. Like,
We're good.
Okay.
yeah, so it takes a couple of minutes, but we do relatively
3-3, I'd like to
quickly
get
actually get an
confirmation on
answer
the
from
vehicle
Dagger
before I push
about
my
what's
guys
going
over
on
this
up there.
defilade.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
like I
I've,
just said, you know,
we've
I
been
want
talking with
I
him
want
again.
confirmation on that vehicle before I push
Roger,
my guys
stand by,
over
stand by.
defilade because I didn't want to just walk them out in front of that fucking barrel
Alright, just
potentially.
one.
Infantry targets 100 meters to our fucking west.
3-3 Bravo.
Light them up.
Good.
Do we know what squad is out to our
Break, break, break.
325?
There's a fucking shitload.
Bravo, range your fucking mark for 200 meters. Put it over top of my head. I'll walk your rounds in from there.
This was a fucking sexy engagement, man.
Oh yeah, this was And just, again,
Bravo
Bravo,
copies.
with that
We're
truck
getting on it.
looking first rounds on target.
On fucking target. Keep it up.
And Heckman engaging here through the smoke is also why we
Bravo,
told
if you
people
can see
not
that
to
little
pop the
fucking
smoke
draw
when
that
you're
we're
in the fucking
engaging
open.
into, that's right
Because
where
all
they're
you
at.
do is paint a target, aim
Bravo
suppression
copies. We're
here.
dumping more rounds in.
Northwest, see if you can confirm, that'd be great.
I'm
See,
gonna
but
put
this
my
is,
battle
you know,
buddy
this is
team up
what
on
we
each
were
one.
talking about earlier with walking rounds in and stuff. You know, the truck is sitting back behind
Yeah,
Deflate.
A-firm, keep
They
it up.
have
Heckman, I want you
no
to shift. Well,
no
never mind.
ability to engage the truck
Our
at this
position's
point.
getting rat fucked.
So
All right, bust
we
off
just keep
this-
it back behind
bust off this
Deflate.
position, shift left. We're shifting left.
And then, yeah, everybody kind of crawls up our ass here. So I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
fuck
there's
this. We're
3-4.
abandoning this position. Let 3-4
Mason, your
take it.
last man.
We'll shift left and get a better position.
Bravo, I'm shifting off to your left into this
Yeah,
fucking
this
ditch.
diff ends up working out pretty well for us too.
Yeah.
Heckman, your last man, move.
And Lameful, thank you for the, Diver, thank you for the gifted sub to Lameful.
Yeah, A-firm, that little draw down in there is where we were engaging.
Yeah, these guys just got slaughtered inside that draw.
All right, Deckard and Mason, I want you to shift
Alpha.
left of me and cover our fucking left. Alpha, send it.
Be advised, fucking Dagger
Heckman, cover that fucking smoke. We got friendlies at our one.
There's an ants run out Vic up there.
Alpha, solid copy. I'd like to maintain position for a quick second while those friendlies clear that position up in front of me.
Yep, no worries. Mike, I'm moving.
And that's obviously, like I had just said, I didn't want to move my guys off that position with that vehicle out there, and we hadn't gotten word yet. But in that situation, it was either move off that position in potential view of that vehicle and spread our guys out, or leave everybody clumped up like a motherfucker and take a chance of us getting hit by
Direct
something.
west from here.
So that's why I made the call.
Alpha's
All right,
moving
yeah,
direct
let's
west,
just
get
abandon
online
this,
with
get the
those
fuck out
friendlies.
of here.
Shit, hurry up and get across this open field into that next piece of deflate.
Fucking Humvee coming in from our south. Make sure we maintain fucking security to the south.
Alpha's got
Here,
something
I want to get pushed up and get online with 3-1 to help engage whatever the fuck this
Once
is.
we get up to this next piece of deflate, Deckard
Yep.
Mason again, make sure
I
you're
mean,
looking out
we
for yourself.
spent the next good bit here just trying to push to 3-1 more or less.
Yeah.
They're pushing to the northwest and we're
Heckman, I
pushing
want
to
you
the
staying on my
southwest,
right.
and we're just
Bravo
hitting a
copies.
very different amount of contact.
We get engaged.
Well, that
right
we
here, our
actually
only option is
spend
to hit the fucking deck.
we spend quite a bit of time covering 3-1.
We got shooters on the
while they
rooftops,
move and
fucking
shit.
312 to our northwest. Hit the deck.
Yeah, and then they're doing a lot of the hard work,
3-3
in
is
the sense,
Alpha.
especially once we get down here into the town.
Hey,
Like, they have
relay
to hit
whoever
that
this is
town
to our
before
northwest
us, and
that
they're
just dropped down into the draw. We
yeah,
do have
from
shooters
getting
on the
support from us
rooftops
as
and the
well.
buildings to our fucking
And by all accounts, they were
northwest.
getting chewed out trying
313.
to do it. So they
Yeah.
they
And
definitely put in the hard yards securing that position for us to sort of move up to them.
And if you pause
Stand by.
here
There's
real
friendlies
quick,
still moving around there.
so you may or may not have just heard me make the radio call to Hardman telling him, hey, whoever is here to our northwest, which was 3-1, I wasn't sure at that point if it was still 3-1 or if 3-4 had pushed up. But I told him, whoever's dropping down in that draw, that we have shooters out here on the buildings. Now, we're not really in a great position to engage those guys. I would like to get pushed across here to this hill to our northwest and be able to engage across there. But I now know that guys are pouring down into this draw. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to make the call to Hardman to tell those guys, hey, stay down in the defilade. Do not pop up on the fucking hills. Because I'm going to have Heckman start engaging again, not only to somewhat eliminate that threat, but to draw the attention of these guys on the hills so that these guys moving through the draw don't start getting hit in their flank. We can, engage this and, have them direct their fire towards us while those guys move and get set in a better position kind of down here in this draw. So that's kind of my thought process behind what I'm about to do.
And we've just finished seeing how effective this draw is at funneling people to their immediate death.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure that as we're pushing friendlies through it, that we're preventing them from meeting the same end on the other end of the funnel.
Yeah, exactly. So let's hit play here and kind of see how this plays out.
Wait until I give you the fucking word.
And the reason I'm telling them to wait is because I'm waiting for word back from Hardman as to who's moving across there and, all of that shit.
At
We got
this
a
point,
mounted
I'm
gun right
breaking
there,
up
Heckman, you
platoon
see
net
it?
with that being priority traffic to make sure we're keeping those guys down.
Send it.
Mm-hmm.
That's your
That's
priority.
3-1 down there. They're going to stick in defilade. If you want to fire over them, you're good to go. I'll let them know.
Roger. All right,
And you
3-1's
see
down on that
last guy
defilade.
just
They're going to keep their
disappear
heads
into
down.
the ditch here.
We're going to have to engage over top of them. Priority targets, fixed gun. Work from left to right. Engage at will.
And again, quick shout out to our silent
Alpha's
stars of
engaging.
the show and our two privates maintaining that security out to the southwest.
Yep. No, maintain your position.
Because we did have a Humvee called out from in
You're
our
the only
location.
thing covering our fucking left flank right
Could
now.
be real bad real quick.
Our Mark 19 is engaging a Humvee that is pushing east and
All right, stand
north out of
by.
the city.
I think I got a fucker in a door right there, Heckman.
This
Far
is a
building, doors
sexy-ass
open
shot.
underneath the fucking street lamp. You're on target, baby. He's down.
Yeah.
3-3 copy.
Nice fucking
It's
shoot,
good
man.
you didn't have the ammo to play with to fuck that up either.
It's Andrew.
This is 3-3. Be advised.
Not after the surgery.
19, but it went behind defilade. It was heading fucking northbound towards 3132 over.
All right, stand by to move. I'm going to see if 3-1's in a position to cover us while we push up. 3-3 is Alpha. 3-3 is 3-1 in position to cover us while we push up.
Not right at this second. I'm gonna see what I can do. They're hitting that fucking Humvee with 3-2.
Roger, we'll maintain position until they can cover us.
Right.
3-1. This is
And I mean, this is just simple fucking fire maneuver. You know, I don't want to
Just maintain
fucking
position for
move
right
out
now.
from
We're
behind
letting
this
3-1
defilade
get
until
set.
3-1 can cover us.
Yep. And this is just getting made complicated by the fact that basically 3-1 and 3-2 at this point are engaging OPFOR force multipliers. They've got BTRs, Humvees, fucking etc.
Break, break, break. We got enemy air. West-northwest, 283. Currently heading eastbound.
And
Yeah,
it got
okay.
smoked with a quickness.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a shot from Warlord if I remember rightly.
Are you going to claim
They
that helicopter
were,
kill?
they were fucking on it.
No, but I'm gonna claim that Humvee.
3-4's down to their
Is
last
that a
job.
friendly right
Hey
there?
Deckard,
Fucking
do you
northwest?
hear that?
Yeah, that.
Rolling right there,
rotors?
yes.
No, I think I hear a rotary coming to our south or something, or east.
Yeah, that might be.
I'm gonna just pause this real quick. Just speaking as ex-JTAC for a hot second. This is one of those situations where we always harp on information flow up and down, and the fact that we didn't get the information flow about the reinforcement bird coming in created this bit of a situation. So a lot of guys might think well, that's not really relevant to my fire team, like they don't really give a shit. I was like, they may not give a shit, but if they hear a helos like coming in, especially after all the OPFOR aviation we've been facing,
Yeah, that's a concern.
like, not everyone can immediately determine the difference between a Hind or a Black Hawk. Like, they do sound different, but not everyone can hear it, just especially depending on what's going on your fucking radios. So just because it is a bit of a pet peeve of mine, I guess, when there is that kind of supporting shit going on that we're not hearing about, because it does mean that we have to make assumptions and guesses, and those things can be problematic. So I'm gonna let the
Yeah,
keep
and
going. I just wanted to.
I can't
pull it up.
really drop and like start scanning for potential enemy air like off to our east. Luckily, it looks like Mason is doing it for me, but we're still covering 3-1 at this point because they're not really set. So I have to kind of devote my attention to covering those guys and calling out targets for Heckman and shit. I can't drop what I'm doing to go look for this potential enemy air that might be out there. I've got more immediate concerns to deal with, which is fucking covering 3-1.
Absolutely.
That being said, let's take a quick break here for a second, mostly because I need more coffee. So we're going to take a quick break.